So hi everyone, my name is Tripathi and today we will be discussing a very interesting topic like how to deploy a application in the Docker using the Jenkins CI/CD pipeline. So we are not going to go with a very broad or a complex application, just a simple hello world application we are going to deploy today. Our simple agenda for this session is to learn how to deploy a simple application or a complex application in the Docker container using the CI/CD pipeline. So before going ahead, I just wanted to have a strategy, like a strategy over the notepad or Sublime that I am using it right here. So before it, we will going to discuss the steps, and after writing its steps, we are going to execute in the practical form. So as we are going to deploy the application using the Jenkins and the Docker, so two things we need to install in my local or in our local. So one is Jenkins and Docker should be. So Jenkins and Docker should be installed in the local. So if I will check in my local, so yeah, so Docker version 27.2.0 is actually installed in my local. And if you want to see like Jenkins is installed or not, so I'm gonna see simply the service. So yeah, it is running in my local and it is running on the port 8080. So all the things like Docker and Jenkins are both in my local. So I can simply hit the uh, localhost localhost 8080 and we are able to good to go. We are able to see the Jenkins interface here. So simply we are going to build a freestyle job and simply we are going to run a Docker image. So initially going ahead with the steps. So our step 1 is actually done, right? Now if I will go to the step 2, so like we need to have the application. So application should be in my local right now, or it could be in the Bitbucket or GitHub or any versioning tool where you want to store it. Then you have to clone it in your local over the Jenkins workspace. So what I'm gonna do, I'm simply going to have the hello world.py application. So the content inside it will be simply print hello world. And yep, so this will be my application. So our step 2 is application part is done. Now my step 3 is, so our application is done, our Jenkins and Docker installation is done. Now what we are going to do, we should have the Docker image ready. So then from that Docker image we are going to run a Docker container, and in our Docker container our application will be deployed. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna write a Docker image. So the file should be written like Docker image, and D should always be capital, and this file should not be with any of the extension. This is very much necessary to understand. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna write the Docker image. So as this hello world.py file is in my local already, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna write the okay. So what we gonna do, we gonna take the 3.9, and so this is the base image that we gonna use for running our application, because the our application is Python application, right? Now we are gonna define our work directory. So here I'm gonna define my work directory as /app, and what we're gonna do, we're gonna simply copy the hello world. This is like, this would be the path where my this application file will be there, right? So if it is having some another path, you're gonna replace this with your the path where the file is actually there, right? And where I gonna put it, I gonna simply want to copy it inside the /app with what, with simple hello world .py name, right? And after that I want to run my this Python, right? I want to run this. So for that we gonna use the cmd. So cmd would be Python, and this is how we write it. Hello world.py. And if you want to explore more with the Docker images, so you can simply go with the Docker image, run hello Docker image hello world, right? So we also have this hello world image, so you can simply pull it. I'm just writing it here, you can simply pull it also, or so over the Stack Overflow also you can go through. So this part is also done, right? So now what we are ready with the Docker image, we are ready with our application also. Now we simply need to go to the Jenkins, right? So I'm going to my Jenkins. I'm gonna create a Jenkins freestyle job. My name would be hello world. Okay. So before that, I wanted to put either I could put my application in some GitHub or a Bitbucket, or we can put this application in my local. Local means this job workspace. So here you can have the option of GitHub project, or source code management could be like you can put your GitHub link here, and from there every time when you will run this job, your master code or your code will be cloned every time. So I don't want this right now. I'm going to simply use the execute shell, and before going ahead I wanted to see what is my present working directory. So I will do build now just to see what is my present working directory. So my present working directory is this one, right? So what I'm going to do it, I'm simply going to my terminal, clear my screen, and I'm going to go to this path. So right now I'm in the workspace of my Jenkins job that I have created just now, hello world, right? I'm gonna simply, if you will see the step 2, right? So step 2 is to have the application ready, right? So my file name is hello world.py, and what I'm gonna write inside it, I'm gonna simply write print hello world. Okay, and I'm gonna save it. So if you want to see like what is in my file, so this is for the application, how when I will run this application this should be printed, right? So now our second step is done. Now what will be a third step is to create the Docker image. So I'm gonna copy simple whole this thing, and I'm gonna put same thing here. So as I told you, the name should always be Docker file. This should be the Docker image file name. D should always be capital, and there should not be any extension like .py, nothing should be like that, right? And I'm simply gonna paste it. So I'm gonna use this base image, and this will be my working directory. This will be, I'm going to copy hello world.py that I have, like where my script is there, and here the name is wrong. Just a second, I will correct the name. So now I'm gonna run this with the Python hello world, right? Okay, so my Docker file is also ready. Yeah, now what I'm gonna do, I'm simply going to configure the job. So here I'm going to come to execute shell, and what I'm gonna write here is, so I'm gonna initially create the image, right? So what I'm gonna give the tag to, tag is hello world image. Okay, and where my Docker image file is, this will be in my current directory, right? Now my second step is to run the container, right? That should be in the detached mode. So I want to run the container with what? With the name as hello world container, and this should be using what? This should be using my image. So my image name is this one. Yeah, and after that, like when my container will run, it could take around some time, like 2 seconds, 5 seconds. So I'm gonna simply put sleep for 2 seconds only, and then I want to see the logs of what, because I want to see my application has run there or not. So docker logs of this, right? Not this, the container. Yeah. Yeah. So I think these are the only 4 steps. So if I'm going to simply run my application here, so you can see if I will simply run my application, it simply prints hello world. And if I will run this application inside a Docker container, same output I should get, right? So yeah. And also I want to see like those files docker, like hello world. So simply I'm gonna list the files here, because I want to see like these files are actually there in my in the specific workspace or not, right? So going ahead, I will simply run the job. Okay, something failed. Okay, so it is not taking this docker here. Probably this issue could be because of the binary, that I will figure it out. But here you can see when I will run the command, list command, ls command, so docker file and hello world.py, these two are there, right? So these two are there, that what we want to see. Now so this docker is not working, probably because of the binary issue. What I'm gonna do, I'm simply going to use the binary of docker directly. So instead of docker, what I'm gonna use, simply user local slash. So in this path, my docker is actually stored, right? So same I'm gonna use everywhere. So yeah, so it should work right now. Yeah. So these are the only 3 commands that we are going to use for docker. Let's run it now. Okay, again it got failed. So copy worked. Okay, so here you can see there is some, I think I haven't given the space. Let's see right now. Okay, not here in my docker file, so I have to give the space here. This is the mistake that I have done. Okay, cool enough. W should be small. Yeah, let's again run this job. Okay, it is running. Okay, this is successful. So we will go step by step, right? So this is the list command, which has told me like docker file and hello world.py, both files are there. This is the application file. Now going ahead, here I'm just building the image. So if you want to see, the image should be builded. You can see here, right? Hello world image. This is what we build right now, and this is already built. This is 27 seconds ago, and 151 MB is the size. Now going ahead, we have seen this is done. Now okay, this is the docker file, right? What we have written. So if you will cat here the docker file, what we're gonna see is we are simply seeing the 4 steps, right? The base image, the working directory, same things we're gonna see here. This is the base image is taken, and this is the working directory. Here we are copying the application that is in my local right now, in my current path, right? Here you can see same we have copied with to the working directory, and then we have run the this Python application hello world.py. So it has run that, and here you can see the container that we have created, right? So we have actually created a container. So our image we have seen here, the image is like here you can see this is our image, and our container is not running right now because this application just runs and it prints and then it stops. But if I do docker ps-a, ignore the below one, this is the image that we have used, and this is the container. This is what right now here you can see the container name hello world container, and it has exited about a minute ago. So if we want to see the logs of this container, right, we simply gonna see docker logs and this container ID. Great. So our application is actually run. Here you can see the uh, output of this application, right? Hello world. And same we got it here. I think here we have run. Yeah, this is the right. Here we have run the hello world, and same thing we are getting in the logs also. So in this session, what we have learned how to run the application code to inside the container using the CI/CD Jenkins pipeline. So right now we have used the freestyle job. We can simply create a pipeline for it also, but as this is a simple job, freestyle job is a very easy thing, and I tried to explain it with a very easiest way. Like these are the only 3 steps that I is going to use. In the step 4 we can mention simply run the container and run the application inside it. So I'm just writing it here for our personal understanding, but initially if you will see, this is already we have done the running the application inside the container is already we have done. So I think that's all for this lecture. If you have any queries, please reach out to me. Thank you so much for your time.